Hello everyone, welcome back to my history class. Today we are going to explore one of the most fascinating empires in Indian history, that is Mughal Empire. The story is full of power, politics, culture and great personalities. And what makes it really special is that the Mughal didn't just rule, they built a system that lasted for centuries even after their empire was gone. Let's start with the question, who exactly were Mughals? They were descendants of two powerful Central Asian lineages. From their mother's side, they came from Genghis Khan, the Mongol ruler of Central Asia. And from their father's side, they descended from Timur, who once captured Delhi in 1398. But here an interesting fact. The Mughals never liked being called Mongols. Why? Because the name Genghis Khan reminded people of violence. And the Mughals wanted to be seen as noble rulers, not riders. Instead, they proudly celebrated their Timurid ancestry, the line of Timur, the great conqueror. They even made portraits showing Timur sitting with these Mughal descendants, almost like a royal family photo. This is the photo. Now, the real story starts with Babur. He became a king at the young age of 12 in a small place called Fergana in Central Asia. But soon he was torn out by another Mongol group, that is the Uzbeks. The homeless but ambitious, Babur didn't give up. He traveled and fought and finally captured Kabul in 1504. Then came his biggest move. In 1526, Babur marched into India and defeated Ibrahim Lodi, the Sultan of Delhi, in the first battle of Panipat. That one victory changed history. It marked the birth of Mughal Empire in India. He later defeated Rana Sangha of Mewar and other Rajput kings, but before he could enjoy his empire fully, Babur died in 1530, still his foundation remaining strong. After Babur came his son Humayun. He was kind and gentle, but not very practical as a ruler. He divided the empire among his brothers. That is a mistake. His brothers are Mirza Kamran rebelled, and meanwhile a brave Afghan named Sher Shah Suri defeated Humayun in two battles, in Chausa and Kannauj. Humayun had to flee to Iran, where he got help from Safavid ruler. Years later he came back, recaptured Delhi in 1555, but tragically died the next year after falling from the stairs of his library. Even thought his reign was short and unstable, he set the stage for one of the greatest rulers in Indian history, that is Akbar. When Akbar became emperor, he was just 13 years old. At first his guardian, Bairam Khan, helped him, but soon Akbar took full control. And from there his empire began to grow and his mind too. He wasn't just a conqueror, he was a nation builder. Let's understand Akbar's rule in three stages. The first one, in the beginning, he fought to control North India and defeating Afghans, Rajputs and other local rulers. He captured Chittor and Ranthambore, bringing the Rajput under his control. And then he moved west and east, conquering Gujarat, Bihar, Bengal and Orissa. And later he expanded into Kashmir, Kabul and Deccan. By the end of his reign, the Mughal Empire covered almost whole of North India. But Akbar's greatness was not just about territory, it was about ideas. After Akbar, his son Jahangir took over. He continued Akbar's policies, but his rule is remembered for art and culture, and his powerful wife Nur Jahan, who had great influence in court politics. And next came Shah Jahan, the famous for building the Taj Mahal, the Red Fort, and many beautiful buildings. His empire was rich and stable, but his end was tragic. His son Aurangzeb rebelled, won, and imprisoned his father in Agra Fort, where Shah Jahan spent his last year looking at the Taj Mahal. Then comes the Aurangzeb, the last major Mughal ruler. He ruled for nearly 50 years, longer than any other Mughal emperor. He was hardworking, disciplined, and expanded the empire to its largest size, at conquering Bijapur and Golconda in the south. But his long wars and strict religious policies created many enemies. Rebellions broke out from the Marathas, Sikhs, and Jats and Ahoms. But by the time he died in 1707, the Mughal empire had started weakening. Next, Mughal relations with other rulers. The Rajputs are the good example for this. Many of them married their daughters into Mughal families and received high positions. Next, the Mansabdars and Jagirdars. To manage his vast kingdom, Akbar created a Mansabdari system. Each officer called Mansabdar was given a rank or Mansab that decided his salary, status and number of soldiers he had to maintain. For example, high-ranking Mansabdar might maintain 5,000 soldiers, while a smaller one had 500. Instead of paying them directly in cash, Akbar gave them jagirs, that is piece of land whose revenue they could collect. But here's something important, they didn't own the land, they just collected revenue for the king. This kept power under royal control. It worked brilliantly under Akbar, but later during Aurangzeb's times, when too many officers demanded jagirs, the system became corrupt and unstable. Next, the Mughals' main income came from tax on agriculture. The Akbar revenue minister, Todarmal, did something amazing. That is, he surveyed the land and measured the field and fixed taxes based on crop type and productivity. This system was called Zabt. He fixed taxes in cash rather than grain, which made it easier for the state to manage. The local chiefs and village heads who collected the tax were called zamindars. Some were loyal, but others often rebelled or exploited peasants. In some regions, peasants and zamindars joined hands to fight against Mughal officials, especially when taxes became too heavy. This tells us that even though the Mughal Empire was strong, local tensions always existed beneath the surface. Now, the Akbar wanted to rule a huge diverse land peacefully, so he built an efficient administration system, which was recorded by his court historian Abul Fazl. His famous book called the Akbarnama and Ain-i-Akbari. His empire was divided into subas, that is provincials, and each under the subadar, means governor. There were ministers for finance, army, and law. Everything was organized and written down. Akbar also did something revolutionary for that time. He started the idea of Sul-i-Kul, meaning universal peace. He believed all religions should be respected and all people should be treated equally. He invited scholars of all faiths, that is Hindus, Muslims, Christians, and even Parsis, to discuss religion at the place called Ibadat Khana in Fatehpur Sikri. This made Akbar a ruler ahead of his time, tolerant, intelligent, and deeply human. After Aurangzeb, the empire broke into smaller states like Awadh, Hyderabad, and Bengal. These rulers still respected the Mughal emperor in Delhi, but ruled independently. Even though the Mughal empire declined, their system of administration, architecture, and culture continued. From Red Fort to revenue record, the Mughal legacy is still visible in India today. So that's it for today's class. In the next class, we will look at how regional powers rose after the Mughal decline. And also don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel.